Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap up. And today we got ourselves a good old fashioned shellacking and nice dumper for the SPY. SPY actually sold off after the cash close, so we got a 204. You can see a lot of eyeballs on this level, but after the cash close, futures pounded right now down to 203.21. So is it the end of the world? No. Is it nice and healthy action? Over time, we'll see, because we've been in this range for so long, and we slight higher highs. And now, even if we start coming back all the way down toward the 190 and change level, still well within the major uptrend, although short term, a bit of pain, if you will. If we take a look at QQQ here, you can see this broadening formation here, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, and now trying to do the full round tripper all the way back down, taking some heat there. You got Apple. Still in this consolidation here, walking. Let's make that bigger so you can see it. Still trying to go as an inside week tomorrow. So here you can see how it's been walking along these series of lower highs here in Apple. You had your inside day down yesterday. And on the weekly, still trying to hold on to an inside week, but you can see this corrective action in here. If we go back to the SPY just for a second, one of the warning signs we had is if you look at the 60-minute SPY like this, and we're talking about this all week. If you take a look at here, you're seeing the series of lower highs all the way down. Fourth lower high here. Then we had Fed day to try and bring it back up, but still was strong enough only to get back into here and then fail miserably down into there. And that's the name of that tune. We also have options expiration tomorrow. So one of the things that's important is time and when things occur. So should this have been the washout in the futures and we start popping back up tomorrow, you want to take that with a grain of salt coming into next week, because oftentimes on a Friday you'll have short covering and you're going to have option scoring, and then next week we'll really see how the dust settles. So First things first, stop going down. We'll see how that goes. We get a Dow Jones Diamonds here, another shellacking, as you can see here. But one of the more important signs that we've been watching. Well, look at small cappers as well. Might as well. Small cappers coming right down to the bottom of this trend line right here, and a little bit steeper here. Remember, the small cappers poked up here and actually went to higher highs just 2 months ago, and now dropping in. So even within the realm of this uptrend, you can see that there's this, there's that, and so still can be considered within the realm of the uptrend, how albeit painful, like I said. But a lot of this stuff, we've had this oil dropping precipitously. And if you take a look at crude oil USO, you're going to see this. Remember, we had that inside month that led to this measured move decline. It was also, if you take a look at the weekly, the broadening formation we talked about a lot. Higher high, lower low, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. And then when it comes up into here, it needs to hold this. Otherwise, you get this re-break here, because you've got stops here. People can stay short against this stuff. They get stopped out, and they try and short against this stuff, get stopped out, and then eventually you get that inside month and re-break, and you can see this perfect broadening formation on the weekly. And if you just watch that formation, even on the daily and on the intraday, you can see on the 15er here how it's done it a few times just recently. Here, another broadening formation. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. Boom, fall apart. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. Then an upper level here. Take them out one more time, because you can stay short against that, you get stopped out. You can stay short against that, stopped out. You stay short against that, stopped out again, and a third higher high. And oftentimes people say, well, now it's going to go up. Boom, now you get trapped back. You got more longs in there and then shorts, and then you can fall right back, and you can see how that works pretty well there. That's given an XLE quite the beating. And in this environment, this overall market environment, a lot of times you get used to buying dips, but you have to recognize when that you're buying dips within an uptrend, and that's not what you would be doing in XLE. And once again, pops its head up short. It pops its head up, pops its head up, pops its head up. So all sorts of trouble going on over there. OIH the same, if not worse. And so you can see that on the weekly here, just another broadening formation here, corrective action here. You had an inside week there and up. Corrective action to stop out all the shorts from here and there. And once everybody's gone on the short side, we are free to back and dump again. And that's what's going on. The real problem here is when you have this going on in the oil patch, you need the trannies to rally, period. And that's not what's happening, unfortunately. It's not the end of the world in the trannies, but you certainly would expect these much lower oil prices to work their way into more of the airlines and the FedExes and your UPSs to try and offset the pain of the railroads for transporting the oil. So if you take a look at like Southwest Air here, you can see this is still holding this steep uptrend here, albeit coming back into it. But certainly, this is something like this is going to be key coming into next week to see if this closes as shooting star weekly, and if this is just corrective action of that drop. When we start dropping again, then we can have a lot more trouble. Another thing we want to look at here is there any discernible strength, anything good to talk about? And so going forward, I want to start taking a look at how. Obviously the sectors are all being challenged here, except for a few, and I'll get to that in a second. But if you take a look at some of the big boys like Chipotle, still hanging out up there. We want to see if that can hang up into that thing, or is it correction time here? You can also look at some of the auto parts. AutoZone still up there. AAP. Want to see how these things act. I want to see Netflix. We got a nice drop today, but in general still, as we know, huge run up. To see how much more corrective action if we can get out of this thing would be nice. It did go inside and down off the 15 here, right out the chute, which was very nice, and another 15 are here. Those kind of signals we use to look for actionable signals. We can also look at Google. Is Google trying to go with the Apple as an inside week up here? But we want to see how this acts. Is it going to maintain this strength, or is the overall market weakness going to start to suck some of this stuff down? Like I said, there is only a few pockets, but some bright news here, and that's the utilities, albeit slightly red on the week, are still green on the month, and still coming up off this longer term trend. So what that tells me is that money is definitely coming out of the oil patch. We know that, and certainly some profit taking and some IBB and stuff like that for long term stuff. But this shows me that at least money's still rotating in somewhere, right? Then when it gets more yield, you got your XLU, you got your VNQ, the REITs still acting pretty well here, considerably. So we want to see if that continues, and if we can get some sort of stabilization. Right now, SPY futures are still getting hit, but like I said, tomorrow's options X, we want to see how the dust settles, if it does, or if we continue lower. And then do we get a different type of rotation? So but the way you can notice a rotation is once the dust settles, because when the market's just tanking like it is today, it's futures-related selling, which means the futures are just bringing everything down. If you're a natural buyer in anything, most likely when the market's doing this, you're just stepping back and letting it drop. But once it consolidates, we can start to see, does money come back out of the utilities and the REITs and go in somewhere else? Or is it just going to come out of everything, and do we continue lower? So let's let the dust settle. Let's see what Options X brings us to set up for next week. And I'll be back with the market wrap-up tomorrow. So I hope everybody got some good shorts off today, and if not, got out of the way and didn't get hurt too bad. And we'll be back in the morning for Options X and all that sorts of fun. All right, I'm Rob Smith, the In the Black VTF here at T3 Live with today's market wrap-up.